Okay, we're live. There we are. It's James Vidic speaking, tradingsites.io. We've got another Wednesday open live stream, live ask me anything kind of questions, and we'll stay on, see if anyone comes and join us today. Again, if you do, please make sure and put whatever you can in terms of questions or comments, anything in the chat. And again, I'll do my best either to answer them if I can, or we can talk about it a little bit and then maybe get you directed to the right place. And again, I do these sessions live. I've got no staff with me. So if there is an issue or you can't hear me or anything like that, just please make sure to give me a little nod in the chat again, and I'll do my best to say hello here. So let's see what's going on. What do we have in the chat? Zebra Music. Hey, good afternoon as well. Thanks for coming on. Again, if there's stuff that you want to know about or talk about, we can certainly do that. The one that I'll just if anyone else wants to come on again, just put some questions in the chat. The one of the things, there's a couple things maybe that I'll chat about until I get some questions, just because I think they're interesting for anyone who's thinking about starting and building and growing an education business. I've got a list right now of maybe 150 or 160 different topics or ideas for YouTube videos right now. And in terms of creating the content for this whole education space, teaching online, selling, creating courses, content, everything with AI and having to do with building out an education business, I can't keep up with all of the ideas that I think are great and hopefully are of interest to the people that subscribe to the channel. So if you ever have an idea for something and you do want me to cover it, or it's something that I've already done that you want to do a variation of it, please make sure to let me know and I will show you. Hey, Emil. Hi, Maureen. Thanks for coming on today. I will show you actually a place where you can put it if you do have a couple questions or things that you want covered on a regular basis, as just as part of the training site .io site. And again, if you haven't joined already, please do so. It's trainingsites.io/join. That's my private or personally branded campus where I keep all of the content and stuff that I'm coming up with. And on the left-hand side, take a little look down. There's one called suggestions there. And if you haven't seen this yet, I haven't really talked about it too much. What you can do is, if you have an idea for a video, just hit the submit button. Let me know what you want covered. If it's a mini course or a micro course or a YouTube video or any kind of recipe, AI prompt, or even a process or kind of guidelines or cheat sheet, let me know and I'll do my best to create it, of course, based on how many people request it or don't request it. So that's all available there for you to take a look at and basically, get some questions answered as best as I can. So that's the first thing. I'm having trouble keeping up with all the great content. The second thing that I'm really excited about is the stuff that's happening in terms of the lesson content and the platforms that we're running into. And I did a video, I think yesterday, the one that I did yesterday. Again, I put it on YouTube here. And I'll open up the YouTube screen just so that you can see it. I did one yesterday that was talking about, and if you haven't watched it, please go and take a look at watching it. This one here, it was Students Hate Courses. And one of the things, I was doing a whole bunch of research on how people are actually using ChatGPT as opposed to how we think or we create courses. And the thing that I'm kind of learning, and just from the feedback I get from people that come on the channel or ask stuff of me personally, is that people are looking for small micro courses or micro lessons and not courses. They're looking to do specific things. And the way people are using ChatGPT is really interesting because the analogy I used yesterday was that it's like we create courses traditionally like a highway, right? It's like fast as you can, start to finish. You know where you're starting, you know where you want to end, and it's kind of like that. On the other hand, on the other hand, I'm by a commuter train, and it goes by four times, 4 times a day. It just went by if you heard it. What's happening with ChatGPT is people are asking really messy questions at the start and doing a whole different process. And I think is you're creating online content for the express purpose of teaching and educating people, learning from creating those micro courses and not those long courses that we originally taught. I think that's something that's going to become more and more prevalent. So that's one of the things that I'm kind of playing around with, and hopefully we'll be able to do some stuff there along with that. Who else did? Tiffany, hey, thanks for coming on. I'm glad you liked it. I've reviewed it a couple times. I love the acronym. Yeah, and whenever I do these things, just to let you know, if I'm coming up with an acronym or something like that, I always do it and I ask ChatGPT to do it. These are not things that I'm thinking up on my own. That's actually step 4 in the acronym is using these ChatGPT tools. At one point, you use it on your own content and you adjust it. And that's where this whole idea of being a co-creator or an editor of the content that's coming from ChatGPT. So again, if you haven't watched that video, I think it's something that you might benefit from if you're looking at this from the longer term and not, hey, I want to sell a course, help me create a course, which is fine. Obviously that's still part of the business. I just don't think uh, I don't think a course or a traditional course is something that you can actually do well with anymore, unfortunately. And again, I've said this before, the only reason that you might do well with it is if you have an existing slash tribe customer base that have already bought into your system or process, and this just happens to be a course that you put together to help them, they're already pre-sold. But if you're starting cold, having just a course and thinking that you're going to be able to have an education business, I don't think it's going to happen anymore. So again, any questions, let me know, put them in the chat. I'll do my best to cover them. um, there we go. Online community. Okay, so Dr. Shaw, I'm just going to use Dr. Shaw. Thanks for coming on. I think it's the first time for you. Yeah, can I create an online community on a WordPress site? And that was actually, if you want me to do it, let me know. I'll do one right now. It takes about 15 minutes to create one exactly the same as I've got. So if you want to do that, we can certainly do it. That's something that I do get asked a lot is like, okay, I've got this idea for business. Where do I actually have my business, or how does that work? So there's no more questions about that, or if there's any other ones, I'll do the actual do the site again. Give me a thumbs up if that's something that you want to do. Have some fun with that, and we'll go from there. And here's the thing before I start. There are two schools of thought with this. And you either have the choice of doing it on a platform like WordPress, where it's self-hosted, or you have to use a software as a service, which are some of the other tools that you may see advertised. And you're going to basically pick a whole bunch of these software as a service tools and try and put them together to build out your community. Some of them do parts of it really well. Other ones are for us, are trying to do an all-in-one solution, but I wouldn't call it overly effective or overly flexible. So, and I am kind of working on, let me just pull this over actually. I did, I did this one. I was basically putting together a chat here, and it was all about, this one was all about, how do you pick the campus, which tools to use. And I had a selector. I'm not happy with the way this goes yet. I actually might kind of build one of those vibe coding apps for it to put it in place there. But that kind of platform, you have to kind of decide, which way am I going to do it? Am I going to do it in WordPress, or am I not going to do it or use a whole bunch of different tools to put that together? So if you just want to play with a campus, now, first of all, I offer this as a service to do it all for you, but if you're technically inclined, this is just an easy way to do it. And in fact, you can do it so it doesn't even look like WordPress. It's kind of just hidden. So we'll go through this one by one so that you can see it, and hopefully it helps out. So I'm on a site called tastewp.com. And this is kind of an interesting site because what it does is it allows you to basically just create a temporary WordPress site and play around with it. Now they have some plans that you can do, but if I'm not mistaken, we'll open one up. There's no sign up required, and basically it's just a site to play with. So what we're going to do a WordPress one, and we're going to use the whole Fluent community suite of tools, which is what I'm using, and I'll show you how it works. So we're just going to better agree to the terms there. We're going to set up a site, and basically it's building a WordPress site for us. And we've got admin and a password here. So let's just make sure. So username admin, there we go. Okay, so we've got a WordPress site up and running pretty quickly. And if you have, I'm just going to put this, I want to put the password on the note in case for whatever reason I kind of get lost on this and we end up missing it. So I'm just going to paste over on another screen here the password that I have for it. There we go. Okay. So we got a site. What else do we need now? What else do you think we should put in here? What does anyone want to see? Tell me what you want to see and then we'll actually go through it. Hey, hi Susan, thanks for coming on. Is Manus worth the price? We'll get to that one in a second. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so WordPress site, first thing you want to do is you want to have some kind of community. You have two choices, in my opinion, to do a community on WordPress. One of them is Buddy Boss. And again, I'll put the links to these. These links are actually all in trainingsites.io, but there's Buddy Boss, which is one of the platforms. I think this one goes to my account, but we'll go to the main site so that you can actually see it. And Buddy Boss, uh, I was one of the first customers at Buddy Boss. I still have lots of sites. Press plugin, and you have to use the Buddy Boss theme to make it look good. But this is basically a complete community plugin that does not have a learning management software piece built into it. So this one's called Buddy Boss. That's kind of one of the choices. This one I think is more of a business to business slash corporate kind of looking to it. So we'll just put this one down. Hopefully it'll go away. There we go. Pardon me for a second. There we go. There we go. I should have put my my phone on ring. So there's Buddy Boss. The other one is Fluent CRM and fluentcommunity.co. And Fluent Community is by a company called WP Managed Ninja or WP Ninja, WP Managed Ninja. These guys have a whole suite of tools that are specific to WordPress. One of the ones I just came out with, and again, I was a beta tester on this one, and I actually have a big long developer's license. So one of the packages that I do offer is basically getting this set up and running it for you if that's something that you wanted to get set up. But Fluent Community, we're going to install this one. They have a free version and a paid version, and this one is similar to a stripped down Buddy Boss. However, what it does include is a basic LMS. And if you don't know what an LMS is, it's learning management system or learning management software. I'm never quite sure about the S. But basically, it's a way to organize posts or information in a linear structure for the most part that you can have your content organized that way. So think of it, as maybe a traditional WordPress blog, but it's all in one category. But this one structures it and allows comments and a couple other things in terms of a little more lesson or course like in that. So we're going to install Fluent Community. There's a free version and a paid version. I'll go over some of the pieces for that. So let's go back to our site here. And what we need to do is just go to plugins. And they have a whole bunch. Okay, got it. We're just going to hide that. And I'm going to add a plugin. And again, these are free to go get from the WordPress repository. I just typed in Fluent Community. And there we go. So I'm going to install that one now. So we've now got Fluent Community installed. So that means that we've got the community portion and a basic LMS that's there. And let's activate it. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to install the whole Fluent stack of tools. and then we'll go over them and I'll explain why it's not a bad idea to use this system if you're going to be on the WordPress side. So I'm just going to do Fluent again, and we'll install some of the other ones that are important. And sorry, add a new plugin. Just put Fluent, gonna get rid of there. So we got on this one, Fluent Forms, Fluent SMTP. SMTP is Simple Mail Transport Protocol. So this allows you to use Amazon or other email providers to do the broadcasts of your emails. We've got Fluent Bookings, Fluent CRM, Fluent Forms, Fluent Boards, and Fluent Support. So this is a complete stack of tools, and I'll just put some of the important ones in here so that you see it. I'm going to install Fluent CRM. Just want to make sure that there's not too many at the same time. So we got Fluent CRM. We're going to have a help desk, which is Fluent Support. We want to do Fluent Forms to add any forms that we may end up needing. I'm not going to do the Fluent SMTP right now. I'm going to do install now for the Fluent Booking. We also have, should be another one here. I think it's available. Fluent Boards, there it is. So project management. So those are enough right now. So, and Fluent, I'm not going to use Fluent Comments. We'll hide that one. Okay, so here's basically where we're at right now. My personal kind of thing on this is that if at all possible, my kind of preference on this over the last 25 years is that if I can have everything in my ecosystem on WordPress, I love it. It has to be good enough to do the things that I do in my business, but I like doing it for two reasons. One is the biggest frustration when you're running these communities is the most support calls that you get are people having trouble logging in. And if if you've run any of these in the past and you've got 3 or 4 different systems, you've got one for your email marketing system, you've got one for your help desk, you've got one for your community, you've got one, for example, for your website, and someone has 7 logins for a whole bunch of different communities, and it's like they log into one, but they registered in another one with a different one, and it's like, oh, I can't get into that, or I'm having trouble resetting my password. It's just been my experience that from a customer point of view, it is absolutely frustrating trying to stay logged in and knowing where to go in what piece of software to be able to do different pieces. So my personal preference is to keep everything in one place at all if possible. Secondly, for me as a campus owner, the other part that is frustrating is that if you use multiple systems, you spend a lot of time trying to figure out, I have this one for my emails and my email automations, but I have my website and a form software over here. And how do I get the information from the form into the CRM so that I can have it start sending emails? And then what happens if they open a support ticket and it's in my help desk software, which is Help Scout or Fresh Support or any of those other ones? So how do I make sure that I know that they've got a support ticket, but it's connected to the CRM and they also have access to the website? So my personal preference is to have it all in one place. And the thing that's nice with what I just showed you is when you're doing something in Fluent, and I go take a look at this, and I'll just open it up just so that you can see it, the different pieces here on the site. We'll actually do it here. So if I go take a look at the trainingsites.io site and I open it up, I have Fluent communities across the top where I have what they call courses. So these are the basic courses that are set up. Again, this is not with certification and quizzes and those things yet. They'll be coming in the next, I think, 3 to 4 months. So these are just very, very basic kind of courses, but they're organized in courses and they have nice cards that are easy to identify them and basically search for any of the content that is there. So this is the course part. The learning management software, if you were using something like BuddyBoss, or LearnDash or Lifter or Tutor LMS are 3 other ones that are standalone, course plugins. You have to take those plugins and add it to something, but this one is directly into the community. And if I look at the members, for example, right now, 3,200 members, and we've got people that are, active in the last couple seconds or minutes ago. So everyone has a profile here. Everyone can go visit each other. Everyone can chat amongst themselves. But this community part is here along with these public spaces. And these spaces are just, think of them, they used to be kind of, you might call them a discussion forum in the past, but these ones are more like having separate Facebook groups. And because it's my community, I'm in charge of the ones, in my case, that I've got set up that I want basically to be available. If you have a different kind of community, you can actually let the community members create them up. So in terms of things, we've got member profiles, we've got spaces, we've got courses, and that is all part of Fluent Community. And as well as, let me just open one other piece here. And this is the other one that's pretty interesting, is if I go to trainingsites.io, my site here, and let me just do this one. Just opening up an incognito window here. If I go and I want to join the community, for example, the other thing that's here is when you have Fluent Community, that login and creation of the username and password is all done directly with the community plugin. Now, it doesn't have to be, but when you're starting out, you just want something simple. You want a community. Hey, people can log in or sign up and they're in the community. So you've kind of got that username and password set. People can get in. You can start introducing them to all of the different pieces of your course and of your campus. So let me know, is there any questions there? Audio lagging and skipping out. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, Victor. Might be bandwidth here on my side. I apologize. Let me know if it keeps up. We should be okay. There we go. Yeah, so is everyone okay with that? Any questions about, the community part and getting that kind of figured or learn what that is about? If you've got that, what we'll do is we'll add the second piece, which I think is really, really important. And if I go back to that fake website that we had, or that website, there was one called Fluent CRM, and I'm just going to activate that. Now, Fluent CRM is, I'll just show you this one here. I'll go to my actual Fluent CRM so you can see it at the back office, so you can see into the back office of the site. But Fluent CRM is an email marketing and automation plugin that is from the same people that do Fluent Community. And what it does is all of the marketing automations, plus it has all of the customer relationship fields that you would expect when you're trying to keep track of what happens with a customer. So if I go take a look as an example here, I'll go to a contact record just so that we can see one and you kind of see what's going on. I'm opening up one in the background and then we'll do it there. Did the audio come back? There we slowed. Does slow down your website at all? Load times, absolutely not. I haven't had any issues with it at all. I have had issues with Buddy Boss, but this one is, it's been lightning fast. And I think the thing is, and this is something that you'll notice, when the community comes up, it's kind of hiding WordPress. We've got set menus that we can use. The whole interface is the Fluent community. Doesn't have to be, but it is in this case. And it runs basically as an app kind of on top, not on top of, I don't want to it's a WordPress plugin, of course, but it's kind of by itself, and it is very, very fast. I haven't had any troubles with slowdowns. And I think, the most I've had on here on this site is I may get 25 or 30 people who are actively on the site at any one time, and I haven't had, any particular issues with that as well. So I'm just looking for a contact record here so you can actually see it and see what happens in the CRM. Just going to go on one of my test ones so that you can actually go and see that. And this is a CRM, so anything to do with the contact is available for you here. And you can add any fields or pieces that you want to have as well. So let me just see if we can get another one here that I just want to make sure I don't get one that is for someone else. Here, let's do this one. I don't know what's happening on this one. So here's one of my Hotmail email addresses, for example. And if you want to take a look at this one here, this is Fluent CRM. Fluent CRM, the contact in Fluent community is the contact in Fluent CRM. And I have all of the information here about the person. And you can also see that I have all of their contact information, their customer profile, and I have their links. And this is all of the stuff that people added in the community. It's all here. And this is just a default. I can add as much or additional fields and groups if I want. It's totally flexible, but it's here. But here's the cool part for me running the business is I can send emails from here and also know what I've actually sent to people. I can look at their purchase history because I have WooCommerce installed, which let me know what they've actually purchased. I've got any forms that they've submitted. I've got any support tickets that they've opened. I can add notes and activities. I can see what's going on in the community. I can see what bookings they have made with me if they're similar to Calendly. And I can also see if they have any projects with me because Fluent Boards is the project management tool that's there. So that's the CRM. And you'll also see that we've got automations here. So if you're using something like ActiveCampaign or even something like ConvertKit or something along those lines, you can create complex animation or automations that do things, for example, like if someone signs on for the first time. Let me do the campus onboarding. So if I go take a look at the campus onboarding for people who join the site, this is exactly what happens. They have an onboarding email sequence. We have wait periods and tagging. Everything is done, and that is in Fluent CRM. So that's kind of the other piece, right? We've got our Fluent community. We have Fluent CRM. That is managing all of the people and all of the stuff that's going on there. So um, those ones are there. What else are things that you do on a regular basis if you're working with or talking to customers or you want to be able to book some one-on-one time with them? Well, one of the things you can do is you can go and offer, and let me just open this one up so that you can see it. We can activate one here called Fluent Bookings. And this is exactly the same as having Calendly on your site, except function loading time triggered too early. Okay, well, let's see what happens here. Let's go to the Fluent Bookings, go to the dashboard, hopefully set this up. It's throwing a little bit of an error there. That's fine. So meeting duration, location. So for location, I can add Google Meet here, MS Teams, or Zoom for the pro or paid one, or this one is just a phone email address. But this basically allows you to create booking calendars, and people can come and visit the calendar and actually book some time with you. So the ones that I have set up on the site, just so that you see how they work, is I have the trainingsites.io/talk. And this is something that I offer to people. It's a 15-minute session. Anyone can book a time with me once/twice just to have a chat and see what's actually going on. And this is Fluent Booking. So someone comes to the site here, they can pick a time, goes through the steps. It's on Zoom, for example. The time is booked there and basically schedule the meeting. And this sends out a email with a private Zoom link. It sends a reminder just before, and it can also be hooked to Fluent CRM for automations after, but it's basically a booking system that's there ready to go. And if you remember correctly, when I showed you that Fluent CRM, bookings was one of the ones there. So if you book a time with me, just like by doing this, I know when you had a booking and what was talked about during the booking and what emails were sent before and after. I know everything that's there just because it's in my campus. It's all in one place. So some people ask and say, well, that's fine, but what about if I want to charge for them? So you can also charge for them, and I'll show you how that works. You can have as many of these booking styles that you want. I have a 90-minute strategy session that I sell, and this particular one works the same way. But on this one, if I go here, what should happen is it should go to WooCommerce for checkout because this one costs money. And there it is. It's in WooCommerce, the shopping cart. People can purchase this directly, get an hour with me. It works exactly the same, but we spend 90 minutes or 2 hours doing a complete strategy call. So that's Fluent Booking. Now, just think about this. If you were going to have, um, ConvertKit or Active Campaign, for example, or another email marketing automation piece of software, and you were going to have Calendly, and you were going to have a community, what would have happened just to do the couple things that we've talked about there? There is a whole host of pieces that would have had moved together, and some of the information would be in one place, parts of the other information would be in another place. Some of it may go, and you as a site owner, it's like, oh, I got to go check over there, or did this get moved here, or what happened there? So this is one of the reasons that I like putting all of these pieces together. So what are the ones we got here? And again, let me know if there's any questions. Keep on putting them in. Again, this is just an example of putting a campus together. The other one that kind of came up there was, so we had Fluent Community. What are some of the other plugins? And of course, there's settings to all of these, right? And you can configure them as much as you want and as little as you want. Um, the one other one that I will show you that's kind of cool that I really like and that I've been using a lot now is Fluent Boards. And if you're familiar with things like ClickUp or Notion or Smart Suite, there's a number of Asana, there's a whole bunch of tools that are for managing projects. My personal thing on these is they're really great tools, but for a solo slash entrepreneur, small business, they're way too much for me. So Fluent has Fluent Boards, which is a project management tool. And if we go take a look and open that one, this is Fluent Boards. I'm just going to call it a marketing board. And this is just a quick one on. We're going to have 3 basic stages to it. And we're going to give it a title, create the board and task. Oh, something is wrong. So let's do this one here. Let's skip it. We'll try it again. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Let me see if I can get it to go here. There we go. We got one that's kind of working. So Fluent Boards, I'll show you in my actual live site. Fluent Boards, and again, this is just Taste WP. This is just a site that was spun up, so there may be stuff that's working or not working on it. I apologize for that. So Fluent Boards is here. This is just an easy way to keep track of the projects that you're working on. So I'm going to open one up here on my dashboard on the site. You can see how I'm using it. Works exactly the same. There is a free and a pro level to it. But on mine, if I go take a look at it, I'll show you what I'm doing with YouTube videos is on this one. So for example, hopefully you can see this works out for you. This particular one, I have 101 video ideas. This is my YouTube videos project. And one of the ones I wanted to do was on a tool called Gamma app, which is great for doing presentations and AI created presentations or documentation. Really, really cool one. And basically this is the project that I can put in and add all of the information that I want to keep track of a project. So that can be a full description here for social media posts. I can have my team work on it here as well. I can start tagging it, doing labels and dates. I can attach it to a contact. And in fact, anyone that I actually have as one of the paying members that we work with, they have their own project board. And the reason that's cool, of course, is because I'm working here, but if you are a customer, you can come to the projects page and actually have access to the projects that you are involved in. So instead of going back and forth and sending emails, it's like, hey, get to the project board, let's work on it and actually see what's happening. Now I've got it in a list here, but we can of course do a Kanban board and show it a little bit differently. I have video ideas, have YouTube video and title, scheduled, in production, completed. So I have a whole bunch of columns here of work that I'm going to be doing working on the project. Now, again, the cool thing here, if you're building out a campus, is this is me and my team, and here, what's also in here is the contact record and the community details from anyone who has their own private board. So if the customer has the board there, for example, let me see if I can pull one up. I think customer will see this. Yeah. So if you are a customer and you go to the projects board, you're going to be able to see all of the projects and tasks and things like that about it, who's working on it, who's not working on it, kind of thing. So we've got Fluent Community, Fluent CRM, Fluent Booking, Fluent Boards, and there's even a support desk program as well. So if you just want to do tickets and not projects, you can do it there as well. Now, some people might be asking, does that make sense? Is there any questions on that? I'll show you a couple other pieces. What are you showing us in Trello? Okay. Nothing yet. I'm not ready to do the Trello one. Uh, I'm not even, that's another one again, simple. There's a good example, Susan, like if you were doing one where you've got Trello or you've got Asana or Notion, and Notion is trying to be everything in one spot. But when you're trying to do those are all great tools. The question becomes, if you're building a campus where there are members involved and content specific to members, it can get very cumbersome trying to organize and keep all of that together. So let me just pull up other one, because there is something that is kind of missing that I haven't talked about that Fluent doesn't have, but I think is needed. And that particular one is classes or education. There are a number of WordPress plugins that I use. This one is called Modern Event Calendar. And this particular tool allows me to add all of these, for example, free sessions or any of the ones that are paid sessions. And these ones have a number of different ways to basically go recurring items, that kind of stuff. And I can go take a look at a calendar if I want to, or I've got them set up in a list. There's a whole bunch of different ways to actually go and look at it. So let me see if we've got one there. Let's do, we'll do this one here monthly, see what happens. We've got a calendar that comes up and shows what's happening in the month or certain kinds. So calendar plugin, the ones that are created in Fluent Booking automatically show up in my Google Calendar, my Apple Calendar. This is hooked up to my Google Calendar, Active Calendar. So all of the calendars are connected with each other. And this one with classes has a paid option as well that goes through WooCommerce, which is a shopping cart that I'm actually using for this particular site. And right now it's the one that I recommend. So we've got classes, we got WooCommerce for a shopping cart, we've got all these additional pieces, and it's all in one place, which is very, very helpful when you're trying to figure out all of these moving pieces. So let me just go here, and I'm actually going to see if we can get this to actually show up here. So I'm back on our test site right now, and we'll go to the Fluent Community piece. I'm going to open this one up, and we'll go to the settings, and I'll show you how this actually works. And when you're hooking these up or starting the Fluent Community, you can basically say it's a course one or give it some different styles. Continue to next. And I'm going to put this one as only logged in users. You can set it up so that if someone visits a site, they go there, they don't get in unless they're logged in. And I can also have get feature updates by email. That's if I want to subscribe to it. So I'm going to save and finish. And it's basically setting up my community right now. And on this one, I have a couple choices here. One is managing the courses. I have some portal settings. I customize it with my own branding. I have some additional features, and I'll show you those ones. These ones are built in. And some of them are free, some of them are not. And we got a little bit of an arrow here, too early indicator. So let me do this. I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to home here, and I'm actually going to turn off the Fluent Booking. Well, look at that. That's actually what happened here. There's a community site that got spun up automatically. And we'll see if I can get to, yeah, it's not going to let me do it. Okay, on this one, there we go. Let me just get rid of the plugins here. I'm going to turn off the Fluent Booking one that's causing the error. There we go. Deactivate. Hopefully they'll get rid of it. Okay, perfect. Let's go back to the community. Again, if there's any questions, put them in below. On this one, advanced features, some of them are free, some of them are paid. And on this one, we've got a leaderboard, user badges, the course module, which is enabled. We've got the Giphies and the emojis. We've got media, which is allowing you to put all of the media up on a different storage like Amazon storage or Cloudflare R2. And then we've also got Fluent Chat, Fluent CRM, Fluent Forms, Fluent Email, and Fluent Support. So again, these ones are all connected automatically when we want to do this. And then courses. If we want to manage courses, we can go and actually start putting courses in and adding sections and lessons. So this is a real kind of simple way to look at it. And if I want to go and copy this one and open up another tab for us, incognito, we'll just hide it and take a look. And what should happen is it's going to go, there's my thing. But if I want to go to the members page, I think it's called members here, or portal is the default, which can be changed. Go to portal, and I have to log in to do anything. No posts. I got to join or log in to actually get access to anything. So this is a simple way to get started. There's obviously work, but there's some flexibility there, and it's all in one place. So if this is making sense to you, let me know. If you want to see another tool, let me know as well. We can do that. I personally like Fluent Community. I like the developers. They've been really good for the last couple years. Again, I have no complaints, and it's all my data on our servers. So I try and keep everything here and available in case something does happen or something isn't working the way that I particularly want to have that. Any more questions on that part? I kind of rifled through it pretty quickly. I do have a service basically that does this setup for you, and I'll put the links below for you. This is basically getting a site spun up the way that you want it configured, and then we actually have one where we actually host it and pay for all of the software that's there. That's for a monthly basis. I have that package as well. Just make sure to go to trainingsites.io/talk, and we can have a chat about it, and I'll give you the actual links. And I'll put them in below as well so that you can see them. One of the other questions I had was about Manus. Is Manus worth paying for? And let's take a look at that one, because my short answer is no, I don't think it is. So if people aren't familiar with Manus when they're doing this, Manus was kind of the first general AI agents. And this particular one, I did a whole bunch of videos on. And again, if you haven't seen them, but this one's a really cool tool, because what you can do is you can give it an end that requires a whole bunch of independent steps. And this AI tool will actually go through and do all the work. And the examples that I gave it were create a site, or like research this, create a LearnDash site with using the Manus IM AI tool, which is actually Claude underneath, but create a course, upload the course to LearnDash on my website, go to WooCommerce, create a product, make sure that when someone wants to buy the course, they have to go through WooCommerce, and then create some emails to market the course for me. So this tool, manus.im, is a really, really cool tool for doing that. My personal problem with it is that it is quite expensive to do big projects like that. And in my case, I think right now the pricing on this one is, where we go? I think the pricing, and if I just go to the accounts here, yeah, if we upgrade, we're looking at, oh, they've actually brought the price down a little bit. So they've got $19 a month, $39 a month was the one that they had before, and then $199 per month. And the thing is here that it's got per month is 1,900 credits. The thing with this one is some of the projects that I were doing were like 1,800 credits. So if you paid $19 a month and you only had one project and maybe it didn't finish exactly the way that you wanted, you'd run out of credits and then it's like you're up to 3,900, which is $39 a month. So even if you're there, you kind of get two projects in. Um, and what I found was happening is, for me personally, is I'd have to actually build or kind of chunk the projects into smaller ones to stay under the credit. But then the fact that I was chunking them all together, why didn't I just use another tool to do that? So that's why I'm not using Manus. I think it's overpriced for what it actually does. Is it a cool tool? Does it have a place? Yeah, absolutely. A really, really cool tool. There is another one that I also did called GenSpark.ai. And that one, put the link up at the top here. GenSpark.ai is a direct competitor to Manus, and it does basically the same thing. They do some examples that are a little bit more consumer oriented as opposed to course oriented. And they do some really cool examples here, and it works very, very similar. Where you're doing something where you're doing a slide presentation, you're booking dinners, but it is a general AI agent that does complex tasks for you. If you can explain your task well, what needs to be done and what the end result is, if you can do that, you're able to, to basically put that together quickly. And that one's called GenSpark.ai, and they call it a super agent. Super agent is the exact same thing as the Manus IM tool. And then they have some kind of breakdowns here as well. Now, the other one that comes up here is they say at advanced stages to give examples. They've got Image Studio, which is kind of here as well. So if you're creating graphics or need to create graphics, they've got one that's pretty interesting there. And they've got a nice tight integration to some of the other tools for using that. So uh, good tool, yes. Do I recommend it anymore? Not anymore. Do I recommend it for small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs? No, I don't. I think you're much better off using one of the big platforms like ChatGPT, like Claude, and like Google, and focusing on those three, and just waiting your time, because the stuff's happening so quickly. You're going to be able to do all of this stuff sooner rather than later. So hopefully that helps out a bit and ask your question. Hey, Mark, thanks for coming on. More questions today. Anyone's got questions, let me know. Fire away. Anything that you need to know about or want to know about when it comes to starting, building, growing education business, any of the stuff on AI or creating content, love to have a chat and see what's interesting. What are you guys working on? Let me know what kind of projects are going on. Do you have courses made? Do you have communities started? Do you have existing customers? Where are things going? What are you guys finding out? Let me know in the chat. I would love to know and see what else is going on. This is an incredibly exciting time if you're in this space uh, of creating educational content. And because there's no questions, I'll rant for just a little bit so that kind of see where I'm coming from. Hopefully, you're on the same page as me. And I think I, I would like to think that I'm 99.99% right on this. It's the research that I've been doing, the people that I follow, the 25 years of experience creating courses, and that whole thing now is, I really, really, really think that the opportunity in terms of monetizing your skills is going back to actually teaching stuff in cohorts and teaching online and interacting with people. Um, there's just so much information that can be so confusing, but the opportunity for you who's lived a lot of it and put these sort of paths together, this is where you're going to be able to charge people, not necessarily for the content, but for your ability to streamline and show people different paths to getting to the same place. And if you missed that video that I did yesterday, the ones about students hate courses here, this course right here, I use the analogy of courses are like a highway, but people are using AI and ChatGPT like taking the back roads everywhere. And that's how people are using it, irrespective of if we want them to use it. That's the way people are using it. How do I know that? Because I asked ChatGPT, I said, Give me all of the most common questions or common approaches. What are you seeing? And it basically, I had 300 different questions that came up and I broke it into some categories. But people are using it in real unstructured ways. And the analogy I used was that people are taking the back roads. They're not on the highway. They don't want a course. They don't have time for it. They don't finish it. But there's 1,000 or 1,000,000 different back roads to get to a place that they may not know they need to go to. But we're there with directions. And we can say, yeah, we went down that road before. It doesn't work. This is why. May work now, but when we tried it, this is what happened. Or if you want to take this road to this road to that road, yeah, you'll end up there. So that is something you can charge for that is unique to you that no one can put into a course because there's too much information. And right now, people can spit out a course as quickly as they want to just with a couple prompts. So that's why I'm excited about the space. And I think the platform for that is if you have your own privately branded community or space where people can get into, and you have the chance to say, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I've been doing. If you like it, great. If you don't think it's great, that's fine too. Because I'm just sharing all this stuff. And I hope that you guys have all sorts of experience that you want to share and have fun with as well. Uh, Started using PayHip recently, which takes care. What other questions do we have there? Let me just look down here. We got example train of thought, how you think about starting a course. What questions do you ask yourself? Moderating the forum. How does that work within Fluent CRM? Okay, there we go. I'll do that one first, just so that we have it. And I'm not sure if it's actually in the one that we can see. This is the free version that I'm actually showing you on Fluent Community. And this is just that test site that we did up. But if we go to Fluent, and I'm going to go here, this is actually some of the settings. One of the ones that we have are content moderation. So I'll pull that one up so that you can see it. Oh, it's upgrade to Pro. Okay, so they do have content moderation. It's in the Pro one. And they do have another one is called Manage Topics. Manage Topics is a way to do tags. And the way that I do tags is if you go to the courses here that I have, you'll see that there's a number of tags across the top. So this is just a way to tag content and show only a particular contact or ChatGPT or different ones. And you can add, I think, up to 50 tags at this point. You don't have to use them all, but it's a way to actually go through and take a look at some of the different or filter some of the different pieces or courses that are put together. And the moderation, let me just open one up here and I'll go to one of the ones so we can show the moderation. You can see how that actually works. And we'll open this one up here so you can see it. Yeah, okay, so this is actually on my live site, but if we go to on the content moderation, I haven't even got it enabled. Let's see what happens if I do. Enable it, lets your users report content or add automated rules. So this one, I don't have it on yet, but you can see it says report content. So if someone is a member there and they see that someone's saying something that is inappropriate, they can actually report it so I can take a look at it. And also I can have my own rules as to words or phrases, what have you, that I want to have it there available. I also have privacy settings. This is one of the ones where it allows people to see what they want, allows people to control what they actually see, how often they get communicated to, and then some access management with particular tags and roles. And the first thing that comes up, if you look at it, is enable access management with Fluent CRM. And this is where those tags come in. It's like tagging, if you don't get your head around tagging when you're building these communities, you're going to run into some kind of deep issues getting it set up the way that you want, because a tag is basically a way to identify some resource and your customers, and it allows people access to resources based on the tag or tags that they do or don't have. So for example, you can set it up so that if you wanted to sell a course and you wanted to sell one course, you could say if someone purchases course A and they get this tag called join course A, so it adds the tag to the contact record. And what happens is the course knows, it says, hey, if someone has this tag, they're automatically enrolled in the course. So that's kind of where tagging gets used. Any kind of access, any kind of content, anything that you want to control in terms of an asset and people's access to it is done with tags. And again, these ones are all in Fluent CRM. So everything that's on their contact record controls everything about how they access or don't access the particular bit of content. So that one is kind of cool. And again, these are some additional ones that are ones that are in the paid version. So privacy settings, webhooks, tools, some analytics. Those are ones that are actually in the paid ones that are available. So the question was, is that option available for you? Yeah, it can be done. And you can also add users as well. So if you want to promote a user to be a space, they call it a space, a forum. If you want to give someone the ability to be, uh, 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 I'm thinking of, I don't have the word on the tip of my tongue here, but if you want them to be kind of like the manager of the space, someone who's there to watch everything, you can promote people to that for individual spaces. So that's all available as well. Moderating forum, Fluent CRM options. There we go. So Susan's asking, can you give us an example of your train of thought on how you think about starting a course and what questions do you ask? Well, that's the zillion-dollar question, isn't it? What is it that you're supposed to be using here? And we'll get the person. Okay, so we got custom GPTs, cyber IT certification, prompt ROI, prompt submission. Okay, here we go. So let me do the one with the courses first. If you're just starting out and you're creating courses, and I'm assuming that you know what your potential students want or the questions that they have. So what I try and do all the time when I'm starting this out, and if you haven't already, and I think it was Susan you were asking this. Yeah, Susan, I'm pretty sure that you did this. But if we go and we take a look at, let me just get that to the right size again. If I go back and you go to the resource library, which the prompt library here, I'll open this up. It's in the bottom left. There's one called Prompt Library. And I'm going to see, we're going to do, a search for TAM or topical authority map and see if we can get, here's the one that I did, just an example. So what I always recommend is if you're going to build a course or courses that you always, or I always try and start with, I call it a topical authority map. And I always use like 1, 5, 25 or 10, 25, 50. I kind of use 3 levels, but the whole idea of this is to pick a topic that you have a passion about and uh, have learned about it and want to learn more about it, but I pick a topic. And then what I try and do is I use people's search intent for variations of that topic. And then what I do is for each of those variations, I ask ChatGPT or Perplexity or any of these other tools, and I basically say, give me the top 25 questions or challenges that people have about this subcategory. So before I create a course, I want to make sure that what are the questions that people have? Are they the ones that I think they have? And is it worthwhile to have a course for it? So I did one, I use this example all the time, and I'll see if I can make this a bit bigger for you. So on this one, basically I said my topic is pickleball. So pickleball, topic, not niche. I hate the word niche. I don't think it's a good idea right now and all this AI stuff. I think do a topic that has multiple categories around it. So one of the prompts was, I just said on this one, I said, let me see if, these are all here available for you to look at as well. It's in trainingsites.io/docs. But the prompt is something like this. Give me 30 semantically relevant but unique topics under the main category of pickleball. And what it did is it came out with 30 topics. Pickleball strategy, trends, tips, basics, equipment, rules, course dimensions, serving techniques. So there's 30 different ones that are there. And what I did is I said from that, I said, give me 10 different variations of pickleball strategy. So it came up with 10 just for strategy. And then went down and I said a couple different examples here, pickleball tips. I did them for a whole bunch of them. And then at some point I said, what are the top 50 challenges or questions that people have about these particular ones? And I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this one here so we can actually see it. I did it for all of them in this example. Hopefully I have one at the end, or I put it in another place. I'll add this one here. I'll make sure to add it after. So basically what I did is I did another prompt after that that said, give me the top 25 questions and challenges that people have about pickleball safety tips for kids. And it's going to come out with these questions. And you have to look at the questions and do a little bit more research and float some ideas to your market and figure out, is that something that's of interest? Is it worthwhile of a course? Should I even spend my time doing a course? One of the things that's really hard for a lot of people creating their first course, or if they're creating courses in general, and I think everyone suffers from it, me included, is that you create a course from the expectation and the point that you're at, not about what you think should be answers as opposed to what someone else thinks should be answered. So I always try and start with that and keep a record of my topical authority map that has all these questions that people have, and then try and figure out what can be put into a course or a mini course or a micro course. So that's kind of the first thing that I do across that space. After that, what questions I ask myself from that is I try and figure out um, what is the outcome, or what is it they actually want to be able to do at the end, and is it worth money to find that out? If you're doing content for the sake of doing content, that is absolutely fine. But if the goal or the intent is to actually sell a course or have people pay for a course and or access to you and the resources that you have to kind of figure out is, if I answer those 5 questions or those 6 questions, what happens at the end of it for the person? Are they getting something of enough value that it something I can charge for? And then you have to figure out, is it a course that I want to give away, or is it something that I want to charge for? So that's kind of the second thing. Is it a free or is it a paid course? How much value is in it to be able to figure out what kind of content that you're looking at? And then the other thing, again, this is just going through a kind of a quick hit on it, is that when you're putting this together, my personal goal for all of these is to try and keep them as short as possible now, and as specific as possible as you can. And again, if you have some that are shorter rather than longer, that's fine. If you have some that are kind of mini courses, 7 to 9 lessons, I kind of go micro courses are like 1 to 3 lessons. A mini course is like 3 to 9 lessons. And then when you get into a, kind of like what used to be called a course with segments and lessons and topics, that kind of thing, that's when you're in a situation where you feel that you have to charge for them, but that's an awful lot of content. I think that you're much better off doing a mini course of 7 lessons. Like, that's the max I would focus on right now. And even the micro courses or tiny ones are better. And the reason I think of it that way is my personal belief on this one as well is you are much better doing 3 mini courses or 3 micro courses as individual micro courses, and then saying, okay, when I create it, I know that if I combine these 3, I can have what's a mini course, what a mini course is. So when you're starting out, like, pick small chunks, early wins, get some feedback on how it's being delivered and the content that you're actually creating. If people enroll to it, whether it's free or paid, people don't enroll free or paid, like, don't build a whole big course to find out later that no one has interest in it or no one's willing to pay for it because there's not enough value in it, even though you think there's value in it, and even though you think it's a great course. The real thing that's cool about this is not only do you get validated, but the speed at which you can create content is a lot faster when you're doing these small chunks that answer small specific questions and or problems that you've identified in the topical authority map. So that's kind of an easy way to do it. And I'll show you one other thing here, just that's important. When you're starting out, the easiest way to create courses by far, The easiest way to create courses is, I'll just show you what I recommend, is create YouTube videos as quickly as you can. And what you do is you turn those YouTube videos into mini or micro courses. And again, this one's for you to actually go and take a look at. Where was the one that I used? I think it's on the second page now. Yeah, there we go. So I put this little course together, and this particular one has, this one has one, two, three, it's got 8 lessons on this particular one, 9 lessons. So what this course is about, it shows you how to take some YouTube videos that are standard videos on YouTube. And in this case, it can be 3 or 4 YouTube videos. Just because there's 9 lessons doesn't mean, but you could just take a couple YouTube videos that you've done and basically turn them into what is a traditional mini course. So I give away all my course or all my video content on YouTube, but you can go and you can take the transcriptions, massage, edit, analyze, do some stuff with it with AI, use the video from the YouTube, but add value to it in terms of the additional content that you create with AI to support it. And as long as you have these YouTube videos that are related, you can turn that quickly into a course. So that's one of the things I try and do right away, is just make sure that I'm creating stuff from the topical authority map. I'm creating small chunks that people want. And if you're just starting out, do stuff on YouTube as fast as you can, and add, edit, analyze, summarize, convert to different kind of pieces, and then start putting it into your campus and just call it a mini course or a micro course. So those are the things I'm kind of thinking about all the time. For me personally, I my personal belief on this is you should be creating videos daily, as often as quickly as you can. Do not get hung up on the content if you're teaching something, not necessarily having to entertain people, but if you have valuable content, information to share, I'm trying to get it out as quickly as I can for that digital asset that is available for me to do stuff with AI after. And that's a whole other issue. There's something called RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, and vector databases. I haven't done any videos on it, but basically what's happening is we're going to be able to, and it's already, people are starting to talk about it. 2 things to look out for in the longer term, like 9 months from now, a year from now, is we're going to have AI tools on our desktop in our office that are going to be running open AI, open source AI models. And we're going to be using our own videos or our own content as the ones that we're generating stuff from AI. So my personal thing here is I want as much video content as I can possibly create, because the AI tools that are coming out and the AI tools that are available now can pull off of my content and not everyone else's content. So that's kind of the space, and that's why I'm doing it. Not only I have my own content, but I have an audience of people from YouTube that I can't get on my own. That's why I put out stuff as quickly as possible. And it can only takes 1 or 2 videos to make things happen really quickly. Just to give you an idea, I did one, let me just open this one up yesterday. I did one yesterday. And again, these ones, I'm not an expert on YouTube. I'm learning as I go, but I just know as an example that I did one here 5 days ago now. I did it on Friday. Um, but there's 54,000 views on it. Some of them have, 2,000 views. I got a couple at 170,000 views. If you get 1 or 2 of those a month, you're going to end up, and you ask them to join your community, you're going to end up with a couple thousand members that are now in your community. But I've got an audience that I didn't have before. The last little notification that I got, basically I have vidIQ here, which is another tool. But if you take a look at that, I've got 625,000 views. So if I was going to write a blog post and start worrying about a blog post, or I was going to try and do social media posts or something like that, or if I had educational content on YouTube where I'm kind of sharing my story and letting people know, hey, this is what I'm about, this is the kind of content I talk about, which would you rather have? I would much rather have 625,000 views and a whole bunch of subscribers that I have asked to be not part of my audience, but part of my community. And getting people into that space, I think, is the business model that is not about selling courses, but it's about building a community of people that have a passion for the same thing. So hopefully that kind of helps. I got off on a little bit of a rant there, sorry. But get creating content, create videos, videos as much as you can, as quickly as I can, and put it together. OpenELMS started with PayHip recently, which takes care of payments nicely. More of a holistic solution. Yeah, absolutely. If you have something that you're comfortable with, I showed you Fluent Community. If you're not doing live events, or if you're not selling other products and services, um, there's all sorts of platforms that take payments and allow you to have courses, and maybe even a small community. There's no rule that says, hey, you have to use this particular one to do it. I like using WooCommerce because it's all built in one place, but also we have a whole bunch of services we sell. We have a whole bunch of downloadable products that we sell on the agency side. I can sell physical and non-physical goods in a single place in a shopping cart that is available. So that's why I use WooCommerce. If you find something simple that just takes payments and gives people access to your content, and that's all you need as a business model, there's nothing wrong with that. So if you're comfortable with it, it's working, keep using it. Just understand that if you're going to be spending or building an education business with this, I'll just show this one other thing here if you haven't done it already. I'll open up the campus map, because one of the things is that if you are going to spend time on this, your campus goals and education business, this is in the campus map course. It's free to everyone. It's on the left-hand side here. I'll show you on the left. Please make sure you go see it. Campus map, it's got 10 lessons. This is the one about how to think a little bit longer, and if you want to build an actual education business around it. And that's when you have to start thinking, what am I going to use to take payments? What am I going to use to do events? What am I going to use to do community? What am I going to do gamification and all these additional pieces that are happening? What am I going to do to sell things other than digital products? Or is that stuff I need to do? But having a personal goal for yourself and for your business, that's what this step is about. And you should always do this exercise, watch this video, and figure it out before you do all of those things, because the last thing you want to do is start with one and end up having to change it a year later when it doesn't necessarily fit in to what your business is. But yeah, if you found one, obviously go for it, keep on using it. One of the other questions here, how long have I been going on this? I get crazy on these, man. An hour and 15 minutes. I could talk forever on it, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Um, Again, if there are more questions, let me know. There we go. Started PayHip. Exciting time in the process of curriculum building and building custom GPTs. Yeah, exactly. And one of the ones, monetizing GPTs. Okay, so here's a way that I'm doing it, and there's one that I came up with, and I'll look for in a second, that I haven't evaluated, but someone else is doing. So if I go, for example, to AI tools here, right now, I have 6 custom GPTs that I put together here. And these GPTs are ones that are for sale. So if someone, was looking at how to figure out an AI opportunity generator, and they wanted to find out more about this particular one, they would be able to go it, but it says, hey, you got to buy it. So this custom GPT is a GPT that I give people access to, and I charge $20 for it to have access to it. So that's one way of doing it. You can have a whole library of custom GPTs. And if you haven't figured out, or you haven't used custom GPTs before, there is actually one here in the AI tools that you can certainly go and use it. And that one, get that to come open up here. It's actually free. One of these is free, doesn't cost anything. And that one is, hopefully I can get the, oh, I'm in the other one there. So yeah, so beginner custom GPT generator. That one is free. You can go play around with it and see how that works. And here's a classic example of adding value to something. If you have a custom GPT and you add some instructions with it and a video to it and some advanced techniques and things to it, there's an example of how you had one video, but you can start calling it a mini or micro course answering the questions around the periphery of it to add value. So do something in YouTube, do a custom GPT, add something to it, and again, it's something that you can have that's free, a lead magnet, or even something that you can charge for. So custom GPTs, I'm a big fan of. The other thing that's happening, of course, is if you've heard of vibe coding, is building out applications, which is a step past these custom GPTs. I got 1,000 ideas in my head. Some of them are almost done, some of them are not done, but I think that's a huge opportunity as well. Time for another session on that one. So custom GPTs. Here's the other one that if you haven't already, I'm just going to get the name of it here. And it was, let me just put it in. I'm going to do a search up here because I don't remember where it was. And again, if you haven't done this before, there's a search in the upper right hand corner here where my mouse is. So this is a global search. You can do, going to do there. I'm just going to search. I'm on a Mac here. Hopefully this is one that comes up. There it is. That's the one that you might want to consider if you want to monetize them. Saw Pickaxe this morning for custom GPTs, and this is a marketplace for you to sell custom GPTs if you want. One of the users had seen it. Yeah, monetize custom GPTs. One of the three ways. Yeah. Yeah, so that's one of the ways of doing it. And I'll just take a quick look here. It's pickaxe.co. And then there we go on that one. Okay. Yeah, limit pickaxes. Yeah, so you can play around with that one on the dashboard. I think I signed up, but I didn't. No, I didn't use that one. So that's just a place to actually go create your custom GPTs and sell them. And you can sell them again, available here on the actual Pickaxe program. So that's kind of a neat one. Again, haven't used that one personally. There we go. Curriculum. I want to talk about that one, Tiffany, because I think it's kind of interesting. Um, I haven't used prompt ROI, monetizing GPTs. So Pickaxe is the one I came about. If you end up using it or you have used it, please let me know in the study hall there. I'd love to find out a little bit more about it. One of the things that I'm personally not struggling with, one of the things that I'm investigating is this whole idea of a curriculum and a syllabus. And if you're following along in the education space in the States, there's this kind of weird thing called alpha schools. And again, this is in one of those things that I have in the YouTube videos to do on. I want to just see if we had. I'll do something on this. This one's called alpha schools. And this is a different kind of system where they're kind of AI powered private schools. And I think it's gaining a lot of traction on these ones. But the way these ones are set up, they show some kindergarten kids, but it doesn't have to be, is basically they do AI kind of class, they do AI self-learning. And then they have live workshop sessions where they're implementing and applying the stuff that they learned in the AI. So they basically have an AI mentor or an AI guide that guides them through particular topics, and then they go out and apply it. And if I take a look at how I was taught to do courses, it was always about create a syllabus of lessons in segments in a linear fashion about, teaching something. And then if you look at a curriculum, which is maybe, again, my personal understanding, I'm not a classically educated or accredited educator or teacher or anything like that, but a curriculum is like a learning path, right? A group of courses or syllabuses strung together in a personal learning path. I think it's going to be a personal learning journey is the thing that's coming. So putting together this whole idea of a curriculum or private curriculums for people is, again, something that's going to be really cool for all of us to actually go and do this. And whether it's doing security and IT work, or whether it's playing a piano, or whether it's using AI or any of these tools, whether they're soft skills or hard skills, uh, I think this is coming sooner rather than later. Again, stuff happens so quickly, it's hard to keep up with all of it. But this is just a really cool, if you'd go alpha.school and kind of do it, I did a video, I think 2 weeks ago as well, just talking about another one in the States where they have about a $50,000 tuition for people. And what happens there is they basically have studios for a trimester, and they basically pick one kind of piece or studio. They have AI kind of enhanced learning. Then they do live work sessions, and then they have to present something at the end of the trimester. So this is implementation, applied information, and that's hopefully exactly what I'm trying to do with the campuses here. And the reason I say that, of course, is the way that I've got the campus set up for me personally is that I have the classes here. Some of these classes are paid classes. Actually, the only one that's free is this one here, where you actually get to interact with me, but the classes are live classes. They're Zoom classes, and we actually work on implementing stuff on your sites live during the particular session. So I'm monetizing on the live classes and the mentoring and the coaching and some of these other digital assets that I have, not on the content, because I think content is something that anyone can create at this point. So Alpha Schools, think of it. AI content is there. It's free. It's going to be better and better every time. You're not going to stop it. Think about where it is in 3 months from now, 6 months from now. It's going to get better and better. How are you going to monetize it? I think it's got to be you. You have to get involved and be in a position where you can add extra value with all of your experience. And I'm assuming everyone here has a big story to tell and stuff that is really interesting to them, and they just kind of want to share it with people. The other cool thing is for us too, is if you think about it, like I'm not young anymore, but there's always something to learn, which is really exciting. It's not like regurgitating something that you've done in the past. There's always something to learn now, and I think learning with people is still a valuable way to learn yourself. And as the amount of information floods the market, especially the course market, having someone to talk to be able to learn together with them, who might be a little bit ahead of you on most of the stuff, but may not know about some of the other stuff, that's going to be actually kind of cool to play around with. So prompt ROI, I don't know about. If you haven't already, if you do have some tools that that you've been playing around with or really like, please make sure to go to the campus. And we do have a study hall here for tools and resources. So please go in there, add the one you're using, playing around with. We have one for events and announcements, wins and celebrations. So if you create a GPT, if you sell a custom GPT, if you have a brand new course, don't be afraid to get in there and share it. I would love to hear about it. Don't be afraid to tell other people about it. Obviously, I don't want you just slamming selling stuff, but hey, if you launched a course, put a link to it and say, hey, I got a brand new course. Here it is. Or, hey, I'm thinking about using this tool. Has anyone else used it? That space is there for you guys to chat and to talk about. And again, these are all free to join. The Campus Builder ones is for the paid members only, but general discussion, tools and resources, events and announcements, wins and celebration, those are all there and available for you. So what else we got here on this one? I've been probably going, holy mackerel. Yeah, hour and 23 minutes. I'll talk for a little bit longer, see if there's any more questions here. ELMS have been looking at PayHip 2. Looks good. Does any CRM or community building features? That one I don't know about. You'll have to go on that one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, as much as I would love to say that this is the only platform to build your campus on, I just showed you one way of doing it today. The one that I like doing it because of those couple reasons that I did. There are a zillion ways to do it. My only kind of thing at the end of the day is if you're considering it, just consider your campus your business, not just a place to sell courses. So, having the community, having the courses, having the resources, having the prompts, having the documents, having the discussions, having the software that you build in the custom chat GPTs, having that one place for your tribe or whatever you want to call it, but that space where there's people who share a common goal. That's the goal, I think, at the end of the day for people who are treating this as a business. So let me see if there's any last questions. If not, I'll bring it in for a landing. I really enjoy doing these. So if you have questions on, during the day or stuff, put them into the campus. I'd love to see them in one of the study halls. And again, bottom left-hand corner, I'll just make sure we have this one here. Bottom left-hand corner, there's suggestions. Go put some suggestions in. Let me know what you want taking a look at. If it's not in the study hall, but a specific video, I'd love to do it out. And if you haven't joined already, you're watching this after, trainingsites.io. Make sure you like the channel as well too. Put a like on this. Apparently that is supposed to get more YouTube juice if you like it as opposed to subscribe. Make sure you do both. But for me, the most important part is to have you and my community to basically share your journey with me as we start, build, and grow an education business. So we'll think I'll have it there. We'll talk again next week. And again, everything here is for you guys to get going. What do we got here? Alpha School. There we go. That's it. That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care. Expect the best. We'll be back next Wednesday.